Welcome back. Today we're talking about relaxations for different age groups and what you need to know. My name's Lorraine Rushton, founder of Zenergy Yoga, and after teaching yoga to thousands of children and teens of all ages for over 20 years in schools, I'm going to share with you my top tips and tools to help you guide your kids or your classes into a beautiful, relaxing, peaceful state. But before we get started, let's get grounded in why. Why teach children relaxations? Aren't we already looking after their mental and emotional health? Aren't stress levels for kids at an all-time low? No! Now more than ever, it's massively important to teach children how to take control of their minds, their thoughts, how to deal with stress and anxiety, how to build their confidence, their self-esteem. If you teach yoga classes to kids, this is the part that most parents want their children to come for. Parents have such a difficult time nowadays settling kids at bedtime, getting them to calm down, relax, or sleep. I have endless conversations with parents, teachers, and school principals about how we can tackle all the emotional issues that kids are facing. What can we do with the mental health crisis facing our tweens and our teens? When we learn that over half of all mental health issues in adults starting during teenage years, it's increasingly important to teach children how to deal with their mind, to introduce them to meditation and relaxations, because this is what will provide an answer. And this is where you can make a massive difference for yourself, for your children, and for your students. Now, as important as yoga movements are for physical health, relaxation and meditation is for mental and emotional health. And by the way, if you're teaching yoga in school as a sport option, all the teenagers that sign up for that class are coming along because they think they're going to lie down for an hour and de-stress. I know from my own personal experience how life would have been so different at school if one teacher had taught me how to relax or take time out, how to focus on a happy place or a good outcome, or how to relax my body, or how to get to sleep at night. Now, how would life have been different if you had been trained to go into that quiet, calm place inside of yourself? How different maybe your self-worth would have been, or your decision-making ability would have been. So what do we need to know about relaxations for all the different age groups? Let's jump in. Number one, the first thing would be timing. The length of relaxation is going to be different for the different age groups. Like for 3 to 4 year olds, start them up with maybe a couple of minutes. Build them up to 5. For 5 to 8 year olds, it'll be about 7 minutes. For tweens, maybe 10 minutes. And for teenagers, you're going to go to about 20 minutes. For my little ones, for 3 to 5 year olds, I'm still aiming over a whole term, 6 weeks, to get them up to a good 10 minutes. My second tip would be move. What works really well before you take them into a relaxation is get them moving first. As much as we would love children and teens just to sit down, be still, do their relaxation or mindfulness activity, it's almost impossible until you've got rid of the excess energy first, and then their minds will be still. The third thing you need to know, and probably the most important, is that how you set up the relaxation is going to determine how quiet and class and still they will be. Use the same language every single time you set up the relaxation, even have the same music, because it's going to train their minds and the behavior that now it's relaxation time. Maybe you want to reiterate the rules beforehand so that everybody remembers that there's no talking during this moment. And maybe you even have consequences if somebody does talk. My fourth tip would be positioning. The best place is obviously to have them lying down on their backs, palms turned up, arms down by their sides. For little kids, they love to have blankets put over them. It stops them from shuffling about. They really like the pressure. So maybe on the first class, you want to spend a little bit of time setting them up really well. And also know on your first class, you're going to spend time shuffling them back into their spots or stopping them from moving around. And that's perfectly normal. We all do it. Number 5 tip would be eyes closed. Older tweens and teens, they love the eye bags. But I found that eye bags are a little bit distracting for the younger ones because they tend to play with them. So if you don't use eye bags, then just encourage everybody to close their eyes. It shuts down all the noise from the outside world and helps them to go inside quieter, quicker. If they don't close their eyes, and you've told them maybe a few times, close your eyes, then I just tend to trust there's a really good reason why they want to have their eyes open, and that's okay with me. Tip number 6, volume goes up, but tone is down. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, there's different elements to your voice, and we know that during the relaxation parts of the class, you want to soften your voice. But the way you do this is by keeping the volume up because you want to be heard, but maybe soften your tone. The mistake many teachers make is they lower their volume and then nobody in the room can hear you. And so the students are going to tune out, potentially get bored, maybe start distracting the friend or the person next to them. Introducing children and teens to relaxations, giving them the ability to have control over their mind, to self-calm, to deal with life's stresses and challenges will be one of the most important gifts you can give them now and that they will use for the rest of their life. Thanks for watching and for wanting to impact children and teenagers' lives. I hope to see you at one of our live trainings to become the best children's yoga teacher you can be.